Hello everyone, and welcome to the March 2024 Energetic Insights. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Depika Mystery, and I'm an intuitive guide, energy healer, coach, and a consultant. And for over 4 years now, I've been sharing these insights on a month-by-month basis, and it's really geared up for those of you that are becoming more and more consciously aware of your intuitive and energetic abilities and are looking for some practical guidance to help you to navigate your way through. So if that sounds like you, welcome, you're here at the right place. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we are already in March. I feel that we've just kind of skipped February. February didn't even exist. And it really just feels that we are time hopping at the moment. Right, before I dive in more into the energies for this month, I have a little request for you guys. First of all, I want to say thank you for all of you that have subscribed and do interact with these videos. I appreciate you very, 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 very much. I am very keen to grow this channel and help get these insights out to more people. So I would love your help. So if you could make sure that you have subscribed if you haven't, share this with your communities, your loved ones, your friends and your family, and leave a thumbs up. And if you feel called to, feel free to leave comments behind, all of which will help me grow this channel. And thank you so much in advance. Right, let's dive into this month. I am actually quite excited about the energies this month, but also it's like, holy moly, it's a big month. Really, really is a big month. So it really feels that we are time jumping at the moment. There is also a mix of energies that is going to be moving through us. So at some points we're going to feel like we're in one extreme and moving to another extreme, and that will happen quite quickly. So we may be in a state of fear, like at the beginning of the hour, and by the end of the hour we'll be in a state of ecstatic love. So we are going to be moving back and forth from various different extremes. So the key thing is to pay attention to that, and do not judge yourself, do not shame yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. It's just that we are recalibrating our systems, like our physical body with the new frequencies that are coming in, and also we're recalibrating it with the earth's energy as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. And so kindness, be kind, be gentle, and be really forgiving of yourself. And also what we'll be moving through this month is all the themes and the energies that have been playing out since October 2023. So it's really worth going back and watching the October, November, December insights from 2023, and then January and February insights from 2024, because a number of those themes are just gonna explode out this month, and it'll come together and it'll fall apart, come together and it'll fall apart. You've got this kind of ebb and flow of these energies kind of moving in and moving out. So depending on where you are and what you still need to process, or what may still be in your energetic field, it may be debris or stuff that you haven't fully released, or you haven't fully processed, or it's still in your energy field, or it's still in your body, or it's still in your psyche, depending on which level it's at. These energies from October onwards will just play out, and this is just a big massive clearing, and this is to set us up for the influx. And I think a lot of people have spoken about an influx of light happening in April, and the way I've not really seen it as light, I've kind of seen it as key popping moments. It's almost like an explosion kind of happening. So I guess you could call it light kind of coming in. So I think a lot of this is gearing us up and making sure that we have the space in our physical body, in our psyche, and in our energetic field to be able to receive this new incoming frequency. And what's really, 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 really important about that is making sure that you are grounding from your heart center and staying centered in your body, and to ground deeper. I know many of you will probably say, but I am grounding, I'm doing my grounding practice, I'm doing it daily. And it's not about not doing that, and it's not that you're not doing that and that's not going to work. You just need to go deeper and go within even more, and with the intention to ground even deeper. And the reason for this is that we are growing so fast at the moment that our frequencies are rising and expanding at a phenomenal rate. So we are going to need to ground, and if we're not grounding that much deeper, or that little bit deeper, or centering ourselves a little bit more, we're going to find ourselves tripping over ourselves, having a little bit of a wobble, or we're just going to feel like we're out of our body as well. And this will just kind of wobble you and won't help you with kind of integrating these new energies. So the key thing, the reason for the grounding, it also helps to integrate these new energies that are coming through. And the other key thing I really wanted to add in here is that if you do not have space, it's going to get very, 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 very tight. So you may need to kind of create some space, whether it's an emotional release, letting go of some beliefs, letting go of people in your life, letting go of objects in your life. So there's the sense of kind of creating more space, clearing out the old, and so that this new energy can kind of come in and there is space for this new energy to go. Otherwise, it's going to feel very, very tight and very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Tight. And there's another word, but I can't find it at the moment. It's just going to feel very, very uncomfortable with too much packed in. All right. I have an overall message from the guides, and the guides are saying this: be not afraid, be in love. Change is upon us. It will be feared by many. It will be welcome by many. Change is a necessity for the evolution of humankind. You can choose where you place your energy, fear or love. Remember, you are here at this time for a reason. Trust in what you feel. So, I think this is kind of telling us that yes, what you're sensing and feeling, there is something big that is coming and there is a change that's come up. What it is, I don't know. I do have goosebumps right now as I'm talking about it. And I think it's going to be different for each and every one of us, depending on our level of consciousness and depending on the path that we choose. I feel that the energy of fear will be amplified for many of us this month. And there will be this sense of mixed messaging, because I think partly because the energies are weaving in and out of each other, and various different energies are weaving in and out of each other. And so the key thing is, if you are feeling that fear energy, take a moment to stop and pause and go within yourself. Oftentimes that fear, if we're fearing something that has been triggered by something that's happening outside of us, there's something within us that holds that energy of fear. And the key thing with fear is to become friends with fear. We often are shaming fear, we're judging fear, or we're projecting fear, rather than saying, hang on a second, I have fear inside of me. I feel like it's in my belly. I feel like it's in my heart, or I feel like it's just outside here in my energy field. Oh, I'm going to get to know that fear. And when you start to do that, you get a better understanding of what's going on within yourself, so that can be resolved. And oftentimes with fear is the lack of safety. We feel that we are not safe with where we are, who we are, what we're doing, life situations, etc., etc. So it's really important to get really clear about that. So the other key thing here is to trust in your intuition. Trust is what you feel is true for you, and that will be your truth. So really, this is another level of trusting in yourself and your senses, and what is true for you, because what is true for you may not be true for somebody else. So yeah, it's a big month this month. All right, let's take a moment to revisit the themes for February. And as I mentioned, October, November, December, January and February themes are going to be playing out. So it's really worth going back and watching all those insights. And I will actually include a link to all those insights in the comments in the description part for this YouTube video. So the 4 key themes for February were walk your talk, beacon of love, psychic senses, and into the unknown. Again, if they resonate, do go back and watch that insights again. All right, let's move on to the first theme for this month. And this theme is called Consciousness Split. And I'm going to start with a message from the guides. And they go: we are the new guardians of Earth. We are here to assist you as Earth herself goes through her own evolution in consciousness. You are here not by chance, but by fate. You behold a frequency, a key that is within you, the Earth herself needs. Together in harmony, peace and love, you will weave in this evolution of change. You are more powerful than you have been led to believe. It's time to remember, you choose which path you take. So, I think I spoke about this in the January Insights, and this is really about the splitting of paths where many of us are going to be choosing different timelines to walk along, and we all can choose any timeline that we feel we want to choose. We do have that choice, and we're really on this precipice of something. And again, I think that's linked to what's coming in end of March, beginning of April. There is a sense of fear that is also mixed in with a sense of excitement. And there's this sense that we're heading into the unknown, and it feels really scary sometimes on a human level, but on a soul level, it is very much known, and it's very, very, very exciting. So which path you choose is your choice. So I think the key thing is to really be honest with yourself about the path you're choosing. And that I've got some steps on what you can do to actually help you to choose this path. So what does it mean to choose a path? And it goes back down to frequency, and it goes back down to what you're choosing on a day-to-day level. So are you choosing from a place of fear, or are you choosing from a place of love? Are you choosing to do something that is familiar, or are you taking that little bit of risk to do something that is unfamiliar, unknown, and be open and willing to learn something new? Are you choosing to be in a state of control or needing to control? Or are you allowing yourself to be in a state of trust and surrendering into it? The other thing is, are you manipulating? Are you being manipulated? Are you in the energy of manipulation, or are you in the energy of truth? Are you speaking your truth? Are you listening to your truth? So it's really fascinating, this one. And each of these you can choose on a day-to-day basis, on whatever you're doing, however you're showing up, whoever you're interacting with, whether it's in work, whether it's with your family members, whether it's your friendships, or whether it's with your community. All of this you can choose moment by moment by moment. Also, are you in a state, are you attaching yourself? Have you got attachments, or are you detached? And this is more to do with outcomes, because many of us have attachments to outcomes rather than being detached to an outcome. And when we're detached to an outcome, it's not that we do not wish for that outcome, but we're also okay to go with the flow a little bit more. The attachment, it's a contraction rather than an expansion. The other thing is, are you holding on to the new, or are you welcoming the new? Are you holding on to the old, or are you welcoming the new? Are you projecting your shadows, or you're taking responsibility and ownership of your shadows? Are you blaming others, or you're taking responsibility for your own healing and integration? Are you operating from a place which is outside in or inside out? Are you operating with a destructive force or a creative force? So all of these things, this will help you. These are tools that can help you to say, okay, where am I choosing from? And depending on your choice will drive the path and the outcome, the path that you go along. And as a path split, it doesn't mean that if you're on, say, lack of better words, on a lower vibrational path, or you're still working through your wounding, your traumas and stuff, you can still be on that path. As long as you're working through it, you will be able to go on to a different timeline. So it doesn't mean that you're stuck on any path at any given moment. You can change your timelines, and you can change the path depending on the choices that you're making in each and every single moment. So it's to help you with this, it's really important to set your intentions, go within, do your inner work, do your healing work, look at your wounds, look at your trauma, own them. Take responsibility of what you're projecting, get a better understanding of your expectation. Number 3, trust your inner wisdom, trust your inner knowing. Again, that's another muscle that is underdeveloped. So the more we trust it, the better developed that muscle becomes. And from moment to moment, it'll be really important this month to take a step back and pause and just have a look at what's going on without kind of interfering or interacting with it. Just take a moment, take a step back and pause and observe. And that will help you see things from a different perspective, especially if you're finding yourself getting really triggered by what is playing out. And then take inspired actions rather than needing to react from a place of fear. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, connect with nature, take care of your needs and your desires and your wants, and most importantly, be honest with yourself. because the more we lie to ourselves, the more likely we're going to bypass our own healing journey, and our ego is going to take over and make us think we are on a particular path when actually we're not, and then that can be quite destructive in our lives. So again, the more honest you can be with yourself, and again, to be honest, you need to have a lot more kindness, compassion, and be just extra gentle with yourself, because this is really, really powerful this month, the energies. And also, as I said, there are many different timelines depending on who you are as an individual, and each of us will have our own path to go on. So do not compare your path, your journey to anyone else's, because that won't do you any good. You are completely unique, and the other person is completely unique. So we are, each and every one of us are on our unique journey and a unique path. So you cannot compare those. If you find yourself comparing, go within. There's probably a desire within you. What is that other person's path showing you about your own desires, and maybe unmet desires or unfulfilled desires? And then that's your job to kind of think, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to change to then meet these desires for myself? And that brings you back into your lane. And then, so I think the other thing is to be aware of, many of us are going to be choosing something completely new. Some of us are going to remain on the old path that we're on. Both are totally fine. There's no judgment here. Again, we each have our own path. I think the one thing to be aware of is if you think that you're choosing a new path, yet you're still playing out old patterns, you really haven't chosen a new path. You're still on the old path. You're just masking it as a new path because your ego wants to be somewhere where it's not. So again, that's where the honesty comes in. So yeah, what path are you going to choose? All right, let's move on to the second theme for this month. And the second theme is called Soul Connections. Oh my goodness. And I got this really beautiful, beautiful message from the guides, and it really gave me goosebumps. Let me see if I can translate it and do it justice. And they say, soul connection is an unknown knowing, a language without words, a feeling without touch, a recognition as lifetimes of memory flash on by, an intimate exchange, naked to the eye, yet vibrating through your entire being. Your soul remembers who you are to the one and to the other. So, gosh, I feel that many of us are going to be reuniting this entire year with many of our soul friends, soul family, soul mates, whatever, and it's on so many different levels. And I feel that that's why a lot of the relationships at the moment, you see a lot of relationships falling apart, whether it's friendships, whether it's relationships with family members, whether it's with your community, partnership in life, love and work. And also in some cases, there's been a lot of death as well. So all this falling apart is actually creating space for something new to kind of come in. So it is extremely difficult to process all of this at the moment. But the guides say that this kind of falling apart is also like initiation for us as well, where it's creating, like I've said before, it's creating space for more new soul connections to kind of come through. And again, as I said at the beginning, there is this kind of falling apart and coming together, falling apart and coming together. And that is happening simultaneously as we go moment by moment through our day-to-day life. And in terms of these soul connections, it's really is, like they say, it's something that you can't touch, and you feel it, and it's like and the other thing that I also got was like a song without any sounds, but it's like a vibration that you can feel in your entire being. And so this way show up as new soul friends, or friends that you already have, because now you have the space, you can have a deeper level of connection. And again, that could be in an intimate partnership, in a love relationship, in a work relationship, in a life partnership as well. Some of you might find, again, same with the communities, And also what I'm also noticing at the moment, lots of people are having babies, especially in their 40s. So I say, go you ladies. I know who you are and you know who you are. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And, you know, there's something new about this. And also with the soul connections, you know, you may find them with animals and pets. I know for me personally, my puppy that I gave away, I think I mentioned that last time, I can feel her energy around me at the moment. It's the most loving, most nourishing, most supportive energy, and she just pops up as and when I feel I need an extra bit of comfort. So you might find yourself experiencing that. So you might have spirit animals around you. You may have your spirit guides. You may have past loved ones that are around you holding this beautiful space. And I know for so many of you that have lost loved ones recently, their energy is very, very, very present at the moment around you, helping you along on this journey. And for some of you, you may feel more of your guides teams present and working with you and in sync with you. You may find a deeper connection, a soul connection with earth, with nature. So yeah, there are so many different levels to this. So just keep your heart open and allow yourself to be guided by your guide team. And it's almost like you're trusting in something. You don't know what's coming, yet you are trusting and you're taking the inspired actions, and that inspired actions lead you to these connections. So I think that's really, really, really important to remember, because I think that many of us are reuniting with our soul families at the moment. So it's a very, very special time. Indeed, it's a very nourishing time, and it's also a very healing time as well. And it just feels like a beautiful long lost reunion that is happening at the moment. So very, very exciting. All right, let's move on to the third theme. Goodness. And the third theme is called Phoenix Rising. Oh gosh, and I got the most beautiful image for this as well. But first I'm going to start off with a message from the guides. And the guides said this: Rise now. Your time has come. The old has gone, the new is forming. You are no longer who you have been, and you are not yet who you will become. This is a transitional phase, an in-between space. Can you trust your soul, release and emerge anew? So, can you trust your soul? There is a lot that is going on, and the image that I got was just so, so, so beautiful. You know, first of all, it was the colors. It was like this beautiful gold mixed with white, mixed with purple. And it was almost like this debris of these colors on the ground. And as I looked, and as I kind of took as I took a couple of steps back, I could see a beautiful phoenix bird rising up. Just opening up and rising up with the heart kind of expanded, the wings really expanded. And it was the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image. And I feel like this is a message really to kind of say that we are not going back to where we've come from, because we are no longer the person that we used to be. We no longer in that vibrational state or that state of being. And, you know, sometimes it's really not easy to leave the old behind, or I leave our old life behind, our old self behind. But many of us have done this, and now it's time to rise and step into the new. And we're not quite there yet. We're almost like in this process of we've taken that leap. We can't go back to where we've come from. We're no longer the person who we used to be, yet we haven't quite landed in the new. We don't know what the new structure looks like. We don't know what the new structure feels like, or the new home feels like. We're in that process of kind of rising and becoming and forming and becoming this new structure as we kind of rise. So do not be surprised if you feel the sense of loss, sadness, grief, betrayal, anger. It's almost like this as we rise and we're really, really on a conscious level leaving the old behind. You know, it's going to feel sad. It is, you're going to feel the loss, you're going to feel the grief, because in some cases we're leaving our old lives behind, we're leaving people behind, whether it's family members, whether it's loved ones, whether it's friendships, whether it's communities, whether it's places, location. Maybe we're moving from one location to another, so we're starting completely from fresh. And all of that, you know, it's, even though it's positive in some ways to start fresh and start new, there is, you know, give yourselves that space and time to grieve the loss, to grieve the sadness. And sometimes we may feel betrayal, because it could be that someone's leaving you, and so you may feel the energies of betrayal and anger coming up, but at the same time you are also a phoenix that is rising from the ashes as well. So there is so much that is going on at the moment, so it's really, really, really important to honor the feelings and the emotions that are coming up for you. So also there is a sense of excitement as well, you know, this kind of, oh my goodness, I have the space to open my heart and open my wings. Oh my goodness, I don't know where this is going, but I know something good is coming in, something exciting is coming in. And there is this sense of, you know, when you feel like you've been tied down for years and years and years, or you felt constrained by something, it's almost like those constraints have been taken off, and there is space for your wings to actually expand, and you can actually fly now, because there is the space to fly, and you no longer have those constraints, and you are in a new space, and in that new space you can fly. So it's so many different things, and I feel that many of you, do not be surprised if your business takes off, if your personal life improves, and your relationships get better. There is this sense of kind of things moving forward in a really, really positive way for many of us as we kind of rise like the phoenix. And this is really important. So many of us will feel this, especially if we are in alignment with our soul. And if we're not, we still feel that we're trying to pull ourselves out, but something is still dragging us back. So instead of fighting against it, instead of pushing, because the rising isn't a push upwards, it's a rise. It's like you float upwards. It's a rise upwards. If you find yourself pushing upwards or straining upwards, you probably still got some constraints, and those constraints could be some wounding or some traumas or some things that you need to be honest with yourself and look at and heal and release. And when you release that, you will naturally rise. This rising sensation is effortless. It does not require us to have any effort into it. So if you find yourself fighting, stop. Stop and have a look, and look down to see what you're still holding on to and what you need to release. That is a beautiful, beautiful cue there right now. And as you rise, just trust in the process. And some of us, you know, if we are afraid of heights, which I sometimes can be, depending on the situation and where it is, just as you rise, don't look down, look ahead and look at the horizon, and trust in that, and trust that you're supported, and trust that although your wings haven't been used for eons and eons, that they do work, and they know how to hold you and how to help you to fly. So I don't know where all this is coming from. I hope it's making sense, because I'm just rambling here at the moment. And the whole sense here is that you're not going backwards. Old stuff will resurface as you rise up through the ashes. And if you think about it, as you're rising up through the ashes, it's almost like debris that is coming off, and the ashes are kind of being shaken off you. So again, body shaking might be a really good thing to kind of do. Moving your body will be really good, just to help kind of move and flush out those energies. If you think about, your wings are being like really tightly constrained like this, and as they open up, of course there'll be some ashes in between those little feathers. So as you kind of open up, you're going to get the debris kind of falling down. So you have not gone backwards, it's just the debris that it's going to be released. I just get a sense that some of you, if you're not ready for it, even if you are ready for it, we're going to have some major identity shifts in identity. So you may feel like you're having an identity crisis, and you will be potentially questioning where you are in life at the moment, about your work and about your relationships, and whether you are in alignment with your purpose. There will be this greater sense and greater need to be in alignment with your purpose if you're not. So very, very, very exciting, this theme. All right, let's move on to the fourth theme this month. And the fourth theme is called time. So, the guides say this: the construct of time on the planet is changing. Many can feel this as a jump or as a distortion. It is speeding up and slowing down. There is a sense of everything and a sense of nothing all at once. Make the most of each and every moment. Be present, be still, and be in love. So, again, like I said at the beginning, it feels like we've skipped a month. It feels like we skipped 2 months, and it feels like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I've only got a couple of hours in the day, and before you know it, I'm going to bed and I'm waking up again. So it's almost like boom, 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 and a day turns into a week turns into a month, and that feels like it's happened within a space of a day kind of thing. So there's this kind of, the illusion of time is crumbling, the concept of time is changing as well. And this is linked to also the Earth's energy is changing, our frequency is changing, we are becoming more connected and one with our guides team. So all of that, there isn't a concept of time that we have on this kind of earthly human level. So don't be surprised if things start to happen really quickly for you. So if you've been waiting for something and it hasn't happened yet, it could happen in a heartbeat. That is the thing. Oftentimes we kind of say to ourselves, like say if you're searching for a job and you'd be like, okay, I need to make sure that I have my ducks in a row, that I'm doing this. It's going to take me 3 months. I need to prepare for 3 months. It may take me 6 months. I need to prepare for 6 months. It could just be happen overnight because you've taken that inspired action and you've been following those inspired actions. So you're utilizing your time and doing something that is creative, doing something that fulfills your heart. And then you've got this inspired action to then do something, and then that leads you to your next opportunity. So this is really about, we're changing in the way that we're operating. So instead of being a human that is a human doing, we're becoming more of a human being, where we are really in states of being rather than in states of doing. So things, if you're finding yourself working really hard, you are in more of a state of doing, and you're a state of lack and limitation versus being and in trust. So this is really about helping us to align with our soul. So the more in alignment we are with our soul, the easier we are able to take these inspired actions. And we are having to change our belief system. We are having to change our framework. And that can be really difficult for us, especially if we do not feel safe and do not feel comfortable. And oftentimes that comes from a place where we have unhealed wounds and unhealed trauma. So it's really important to look at that, because that will kind of hold you back in a way. The more that you've kind of understand who you are and the journey you've been on and why you are the way that you are, knowing that actually that is just, most of that is a conditioning, and you can let that conditioning go, you will find a lot of freedom in that letting go. But the thing is, it's not really that easy. It's challenging for the ego, and it's deep inner work. So yeah, I do feel like, and I think I've said this already, but the way we live, work, and relate to people is changing. The old construct no longer makes sense. Yeah, and it's like a lot of us are, we've kind of grown up saying, okay, we are born, we're raised by a family, we go to school, we go to university, we get a job, and once we've been in a job for a while, we find a partner, we get married, we have children, and then the cycle continues. Now it feels very, very different. It's almost like we're looking for deeper meaning in life, a deeper purpose, a sense of belonging to more of our soul families, which is beyond the human construct of what good looks like in life. It's more of a feeling rather than something that you are, what it looks like or sounds like to other people. It's how you feel about yourself and how you feel in connection with your work, in your relationships, in your community. this is really, 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 really exciting, because it's all, as I've said before, with the Phoenix rising, the restraints and the restrictions are coming off, and the more that we can flow with it, the easier it will be. If we find ourselves fighting it a little bit, it will feel quite crunchy. And if it is feeling crunchy for you, it's time to go within and have a look at what's kind of going on inside of yourself that makes you feel insecure or unsafe with going with the flow with all of this. It is really, really, really exciting times, and it will be challenging as well for so many of us. So be kind, be gentle, and be really, really, really forgiving. And you know what? Be compassionate, not just to yourself, but to others. You know, we don't know what somebody else is going through. So even though we may be on a path that we may have done all of this healing work, somebody may not be there yet. So, you know, extend your kindness, extend your compassion, because it may just be what they need, and that exchange helps them to level up as well. So there is something to be said, because we're going to start to communicate in, this is just coming through now, we're going to start to communicate in a whole different way. Right, I think that is enough for this month. I can carry on, but thank you all for watching. And if you have enjoyed these insights, please do go ahead and share it. As I said before, this really helps bring in new people that may find these insights beneficial. Comment below, leave us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. And if you're looking for the additional support this month, come and join the energetic alignment session, which is happening on Sunday the 24th of March. It'll be our usual time for UK and Europe, so 6 p.m. London time and 7 p.m. Central European time. However, in the US, because I think of daylight time, the clocks do go forward, so it will be an hour behind. So it will be 11 a.m. PDT and 2 p.m. EDT. So I'll include the information below, and the theme this month is called Phoenix Rising. So you can purchase that online right now. And thank you again for watching. Stay safe, stay grounded, be kind, be compassionate, and be really, really, really gentle with yourself. And I will see you in April. Bye for now.